Welcome, fans and collectors. This is Marvel and DC 379 with another review, and today we'll be looking at Star Wars The Black Series, Luke Skywalker. So this is the Jedi version from Return of the Jedi, which happens to be my favorite Star Wars movie of all time. And Luke is my favorite character in all of Star Wars. Although I have a couple of favorite characters here and there, Luke has always been my favorite. So enough of that, let's begin. So here's the figure in the window and that really great shot artwork from the fight scene with Luke at the sail barge. I love that battle. And here's the figure in the window. Looks really good, although the lightsaber unfortunately doesn't look really good. It's bent and it's warped. I mean, the hilt, that's fixable, but the blade, I would usually use the hot water trick or the hairdryer trick, but considering that translucent plastic is a different type of plastic, it doesn't work well, so I really do hope to fix the lightsaber when I open this guy up. And here's Star Wars The Black Series, his name in blue, number 3, warning, choking hazard, Hasbro, nothing here. And nothing here. There's the Star Wars logo, number 3 again with Luke Skywalker. And just a quick bio. Luke goes to the second Death Star to confront his father, Darth Vader. Despite giving in to his anger, Luke refuses to destroy his father and rejects Emperor Palpatine's attempt to turn Luke to the dark side. And I really like that fight scene in Return of the Jedi too, because he won 2 battles. His fight against Darth Vader and his fight against the dark side. And there's the blue little bars right there, which is also at the front of the package. I don't know why, but I've always liked that. It kind of looks Star Warsy, if that makes sense. I don't know. And there's that really great artwork recreating the fight scene in the Death Star too. Some poses may require additional support and more information, blah blah blah. Visit StarWarsHasbro.com, Disney, Hasbro. Okay, so that's about it for packaging. Now let's get into the figure. And here is Luke Skywalker out of packaging. And this is the Jedi version of Luke in Return of the Jedi, where he fights his father Darth Vader in the Death Star 2. And I really like the look of it, although I prefer the version where the one he wears in the Jabba scene, or even the deleted scene with the lightsaber construction, because that looks more Jedi looking, if that makes sense, but I still like this suit. And it's a mainly black suit meant to symbolize his possible fall to the dark side. And considering the fact that it's mainly black, just for the most part, just one color, it's pretty detailed. Like, there's a lot of wrinkles here at the chest, his sleeves. There's a lot of nice creases here and there, like there's a crease there, there, and I really just like the wrinkles because it makes it even more realistic looking, and it kind of has that leathery look, which makes it even more nice. And there's still color, like his belt has really nice pouches, and there's bits of silver, like the buckle. There's bits of silver there, and there. And his belt is meant to hold the lightsaber, which I will get into later on. So for a suit that's mainly one color, it's very nicely detailed and sculpted. Now, let's take a look at the head sculpt. This definitely resembles Mark Hamill. And at first I thought the hair was a little too brown, but I had to look up references, and this is about right. The only thing I don't like is that his right eye looks a little off-center, but otherwise, this is a good-looking head sculpt. Now onto articulation. There's a ball-jointed head with a hinged neck, hinged shoulder, hinged elbow, hinged swivel wrist. This is a swivel waist, but it may or may not be a ball joint. I don't know, but it mainly swivels. ball jointed legs, there's a thigh swivel, double hinged knees, hinged ankles, and has that great pivot. So really good articulation. It's all what it needs. Nothing too fancy, but not too stiff either. So you're going to get great poses out of this guy. Now, for accessories, like I said before, he does come with this lightsaber that is on a hook on his belt. And the packaging, it was really bent out of shape. I did fix it a little bit using the hot water trick. Although this lightsaber material, it's made of a very soft rubbery plastic, so I think it should be easy to fix. And if your accessories do come warped or bent, I highly recommend the hot water trick or the hair dryer trick. I actually did a tutorial with the hot water trick, so if you want to check that out, you can. And it's very nicely detailed. The gray, the black for the grip, and the copper bits like on this piece and at the bottom of the lightsaber emitter. And it has a great resemblance to Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber, but hey, like student, like teacher. And it's not a lightsaber without its blade. And it's the simple hole and peg system. And just like the lightsaber hilt itself, I was able to fix the blade because it was really badly bent. I mean, did I did a good job of fixing it? Not really, but at least it looks better than before. I mean, it's still bent. Like, at first glance, it looks good, but if you look really close, you could tell it's still bent. That's a bummer, and it's bound to happen when you collect toys, warped figures, and accessories. But at least it looks better than before, and you can actually have Luke Skywalker hold it very nicely and securely. Like, come on, don't fight me. There we go. And he looks absolutely fantastic with the lightsaber. And because of his articulation, you actually can have him with two-handed poses, like so. And here's another accessory which I thought is really great. Here's an alternate chest piece that you can swap out with this one. This is meant to replicate the scene where Luke Skywalker was being electrocuted by Emperor Palpatine while Darth Vader was able to save him. And I did say that the black suit was meant to represent his possible fall to the dark side, and when he was being electrocuted, you see a flap with a little bit of white on it. That's meant to represent that he came back to the light side. And it's very simple. You just remove this chest piece, and you see there's these two peg holes across, and there's these two pegs. The same goes for this one, and it's very easy to put back on. So if you want to recreate the scene from Return of the Jedi, you definitely can with this figure. And Return of the Jedi is my favorite Star Wars movie, so I may or may not end up displaying Luke with this or even recreate the scene. So that's enough of that. Let's get into comparisons. So here's a comparison with his father, Darth Vader, and this is one of the main reasons why I wanted to buy this figure. And they look really great, and you can recreate the scene from Return of the Jedi or even play out the scene if you actually play with your toys. And in terms of height, Darth Vader is a tad taller with this helmet, as it should be because that's actually accurate. And here is Luke next to a fellow Jedi, Kanan Jarrus, and they've never interacted before, but just to show you how they look together, they look very great. And just like with Vader, Luke is a tad shorter by a head. And here is Luke with Ahsoka Tano, and they look about the same exact height. It's just that the horns on top of her head make her look slightly taller, but they look like they're about the same height. So my final thoughts, well, Luke is my favorite character of all time when it comes to Star Wars, and well, I really liked him as a Jedi, so I really wanted this figure for a while. And because of crazy scalper prices, I had to pay him for $90, around that range when I bought him off on Amazon. So I wouldn't recommend buying super crazy prices for him. But for what you get, well, it's a simple figure, mostly because of the costume design, but that's how the actual design of the suit actually is anyway. But good articulation, some details, and it does have a good likeness to the character and the actor who plays him, Mark Hamill, and there's very few flaws I have to discuss about him. But I do recommend him, but however, he is hard to find and he can be expensive, so if you find him for a very good price, then I definitely recommend him. So this has been it, everybody. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next. So until then, may the Force be with you. Dead uncle? Yep. Evil version of you wears all black? Yep. Has a love interest who is a redhead with the initials MJ in any lifetime? Uh-huh. Disney bought the rights of your fictional universe and franchise? Yes, sir. Dude, I think we just became best friends.